disgusting degenerate.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a word of warning.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. It's Cooper and Anthony.
Supposed to have lunch with a girlfriend of mine this week, and I just like to show up at a place for lunch. Like, just pick a place, we'll show up, we'll get a table. She's a reservation-making kind of gal. Like, she wants to make sure there's a reservation at a specific time, and she likes to walk in and give her name. She's nobody famous.
During the day?
Yeah.
Not a night dinner, but like a day lunch. You have to make a reservation.
Well, this is New York, so everything's busy all the time. Remember, people spent like a year only being able to order in, and then another year people were still like kind of coming back, but they were eating outside. We weren't allowed inside yet. Well, now this year anything goes. Mask, no mask. I went to one restaurant. They ask you for a vaccination card when you walk in, but you don't have to wear a mask at any point.
So as long as you have the card, you're fine.
It's like, what? So if I'm not vaccinated, I can't eat here?
Yeah, did they tell you to go away?
Apparently, if you're not vaccinated, they seat you outside, but now they have an enclosure. So the outside is the same thing as the inside. It's not actual outside. It's so stupid.
I have never shown my card to anybody.
Oh, no, that's a big thing in New York. There were restaurants for 2 years that would not let you in without a vaccination card.
Yeah, I don't even know where my card is. I've never shown it to anybody.
Dude, you don't have an actual card. It's an app.
It's an app?
Yeah.
What kind of app?
Well, it's different in every state.
There's an app?
So we have one here called Easy Pass.
No, that's for cars. That's not for that. That's how you get. That's how you get to Long Island without paying tolls.
I'm sorry, I lied to you. You're right. This one's called Excelsior Pass. I knew it was something pass.
Fast pass. That's how I get through the tolls.
Right. Okay. So this one's called Excelsior Pass.
Okay.
And it's connected to the New York system, to the main computers, whatever. So once you put your name in, it knows how many vaccinations you've had if you've had your booster, and it automatically comes up on your phone. So it's an app. You don't need to walk around with that stupid fucking card.
So what if you have a flip phone?
Nobody has a flip phone.
Well, some people do.
If you have a
what
flip phone,
happens if you're my parents and you have a flip phone? What do you do then? Do you just not go in?
No, then you probably carry a big giant purse with you, and you probably carry your big stupid card with you that you've already laminated. So they're good. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so my girlfriend said, you have to make the reservation. She got booted off of Open Table.
How can that be?
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, it's an app. How can they boot you off an app? Like, don't use our services anymore?
Are you like Trump and Twitter? You got bumped off? What did you do to get bumped?
Right. Like, what'd you go on there and say about a restaurant? Like, what happened? So, okay. The way she first described it to me, she said that she had a couple of reservations that ended up getting canceled, is how she phrased it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, so you just made reservations and then didn't show up? Of course they booted you off. You can't keep making reservations and then not showing up. I mean, she's sort of a flake. So I can see her being like, let me make a reservation at 2 different restaurants and like not canceling one of them, that kind of thing. That's the kind of person she is. So that's what ended up happening with one place. She made 2 reservations at 2 different places and she forgot to cancel the one reservation. So they reported her to Open Table. So that was the first thing. The second one, now this is why I want to ask you about it, because I want you to tell me who is wrong in this scenario.
Your friend.
Okay. Let's play an Am I the Asshole? And it'll be my friend. Okay, so is my friend the asshole? So she made a reservation at a restaurant and specifically you can put notes in there if like you know the restaurant well and you specifically want to sit in the garden or outside or like a specific table because it's an anniversary. Like you can put a note in there for that. So she put a note in. I guess this restaurant that she normally goes to, they have a section that they seat families with kids and then a section where they have adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just an adult section. They don't say that because I think legally they can't, but she's been going to this restaurant long enough. She knows there's a kids section where there's even like crayons and stuff, and then there's an adult section. So she asked to sit in the adult section because she was showing up with 2 other adults. But they did not honor her reservation, and they sat her in the kids section. So they bring her in, and there's like tons of families there and kids running around. Now, her kids are older. Like, they're, one's in college, one's in high school. Like, they're not little kids running around anymore. You know what I mean? So she doesn't want to sit with little kids screaming. She's done that already. So she said to the I don't know, the hostess, I guess, so the manager, she has to talk to the manager. She said, I specifically asked to sit in the adult section and not here. And they said, well, the time you requested, we only had this table available. She said, well, you should have let me know that, because I would have said, cancel my reservation, which I'm doing right now. And she got up with the two people she was with, and they left and they went somewhere else. So instead of the manager just going, okay, well, we didn't honor and whatever, they reported her to Open Table as a canceled reservation.
I don't think there's an official children's section.
Right.
I think that she just wanted to be away from a table with kids and wah.
No. She explained to me that the way she lives in an area where the restaurants it's like where you live. It's giant. There's a lot of, like, New York restaurants are tiny. Even the biggest restaurants are still tiny. This was a giant restaurant. And there's this one section that she explained to me is behind the bar and leads towards the kitchen. They always seat the kids there, and they have like crayons and coloring book, coloring type things, whatever. They have stuff for kids to do in that section. The other section, they don't have that stuff because it's clearly for the adults, and it's by the bar where there's alcohol. Do you know what I mean? So they basically divide the restaurant where the bar is. Behind the bars where the families and kids sit, in front of the bars where the adults who are drinking sit. So that's just the way they do it. Anyway, so she left, and they marked her reservation as a no-show.
See, I learned something today for the first time. I didn't know there was an app for my COVID card, and I had no idea there was an app for reservations. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, that's because you only do drive-through at McDonald's. You don't need a reservation for that.
I had no idea there's an app called Table.
You can just walk into Bojangles at any time. You don't need a reservation to...
Even when I go to restaurants. I've never heard of this.
Okay, Chick-fil-A is not a restaurant.
There are restaurants, the barbecue places I go to. No, I've never heard of an app that's for reservations.
You probably live in a town that you don't have to make a reservation. You can just walk in and they give you a table, right?
Pretty much. I mean, or you wait 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's nothing. I mean, 15, 20 minutes. In New York, there are restaurants that if you don't have a reservation, they won't take you.
See, that's the city, because on Long Island, they didn't have that.
Well, on Long Island, they have a lot bigger spaces. The restaurants are much larger, but there were restaurants in Long Island that if it was packed, you had to wait, and you can wait up to an hour.
Right. And that going out. But yeah, if she didn't want to be sat next to the kids, then don't go out.
Well, no, that was the whole... No, she specifically said in her request that she wanted to sit on the side with, the side with the bar. And she didn't want to sit in the kids section. You can't tell her don't go out, especially after... And I even said this to her. I'm like, the pandemic is still going on. There's still restaurants that are bleeding money. They can't find wait staff. They should be happy to have you. Like, you're willing to go and spend money, and you guys are drinkers. You're going to go buy, like, the best bottle of wine. You know what I mean? So that was her second. That was number 2. So the third one, there's a third. Why she got booted off of Open Table. So I guess it's 3 strikes, you're out. So the first one, she literally just forgot to cancel a reservation. The second one is what I just told you. The third one, I don't know. This one I think is on her. Okay. So she made a reservation. She showed up at the restaurant. They sat her at her table. And she was at a table for 4. And the next table next to her was a table for 4. And the table on the other side was a table for 4. That's just, how they did it. If you have a large party, they push 2 tables together, and then they have a table for 8. Maybe they can shove 2 extra chairs. There's 10 people. So the table for 4 right next to her, a 5th person showed up, and they shoved a chair in. Okay. That's not she doesn't care. It doesn't bother her. But then more people started showing up, and there were 8 people sitting at a table for 4, and they didn't quite fit. So they were kind of like in her space and leaning back and like bumping her chair. And they literally put 8 chairs around a table for 4. So she had gone to the manager, and at that point, they'd only ordered drinks and appetizers. They hadn't even had dinner yet. At that point, she went to the manager and said, "What the hell? Like, this isn't okay. I'm not enjoying my meal. Not only is this table like incredibly loud, but you've got 8 chairs at a table for 4. Can you move us? I'm not sitting here." And they said, "We don't really have an empty table again for another hour. So you're going to have to wait an hour for another table." She's like, "This is unacceptable. We're leaving. We're just going to pay for our drinks, cancel our appetizers. We're leaving." They were so mad that she did that. I guess if you don't, I don't know how it works with Open Table. I think you have to, maybe it's the way the app works. You have to go, show up, eat your meal, pay, and leave. And that's considered a full transaction. Maybe because she only paid for her drinks and then left, they marked her as a no-show.
Because she didn't go all the way through.
Or, see, I don't know if it's because she didn't go all the way through, or if it's because she diva'd out and was like, "I'm out of here." And they're like, "You know what? Screw you. That's a no-show.
Yeah, I don't want you back.
We counted this as a meal. We counted this like we were expecting a certain amount of money. Like you're 2 Diet Cokes and a beer. Sorry, no, that's not a meal."
Yeah, because the restaurant counts that table as, let's say, $200 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. So
Right.
I think that your friends are pains in the asses. I think these are the same people that get banned by Facebook.
Right.
And get in Twitter jail. It's the same people.
Yeah.
There are 2 types of people in the world. People that get kicked off of Twitter and people that get banned on Open Table and people that never go through any of this.
No, okay, she's not on social media, first of all. She's not a troll.
Well, she used to be, but they kicked her off. They kicked her off of everything. That's why she's, quote, not on social media right now.
I think she's just a malcontent. I think, I got to tell you, she used to be the person that I would go to for everything because she was really stable. As she's gotten older, she's become a real complainer. And I feel like as a result, she probably doesn't get as good service. She probably doesn't get every time I talk to her, "Hey, how'd that go?" "Oh, wait till you hear." There's always a story. It's never like, "Oh, it went great," or "We had a really good time," or "You should try it." There's always like, "Oh, we went here and there was a problem." I mean, even like they went on a vacation. They did like an Airbnb for 2 weeks in a beautiful house, and they had the whole place to themselves. Obviously, it's Airbnb. And of course, it couldn't be easy. When they were leaving, I guess the Airbnb had told her that they had a housekeeper that was coming to clean up everything. So the housekeeper came of course, something had to happen with her. The housekeeper came on their last day, and they found out that their vacation time was extended because his work was like, "Listen, because of COVID, no one's coming back to the office for another week. You guys take another week." So they called the Airbnb host and said, "Hey, I know your housekeeper's already been here. Can we stay a few more days or another week?"
No.
And the host was like, "Sure, you can't stay another week because I have somebody else coming for the weekend, but you can certainly stay through Wednesday. And then I'll have the housekeeper come again, whatever." And they're like, "Okay, great." So while they were there, I guess they accumulated a lot of trash. They had people come visit, whatever. And they went to the husband can't take out the trash because he just had hernia surgery. So she went to take out the trash and it was too heavy for her. She threw out her back and her shoulder. She needed shoulder surgery. That Tommy John surgery, whatever the baseball players get.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Tommy John surgery.
just from picking up a heavy bag of trash. So, it's not the problem of the Airbnb host. She's like, "I want to leave a bad review." I'm like, what? That person was really nice to you.
A bad review because the trash was too heavy.
I was like, "Don't you dare." I was like, "That's 100% on you." Like, they let you stay the extra days. Like, fuck you.
There are way too many people in my life that cannot go one day without drama.
Yeah, me too. I've got people like that in my life.
Yeah, you're one of them.
But I'm not, because this is my friend. This isn't even me. I'm home on the couch.
There was drama, I guarantee, in your life today, even though you did nada.
There actually was, because I didn't do nada. So okay, so since you asked, I'll tell you.
Here goes the drama. Let's see which is worse.
Okay, so I'm redoing my entire apartment piece by piece. So we redid the closets, we redid the kitchen, and now I'm replacing all the furniture. But, I can't afford to buy all new furniture. So what I'm doing is basically like, if somebody I know is moving, I'm like, is there any piece of furniture not coming with you? And I'm offering them like whatever I can afford for it. So I have a girlfriend who just renovated her apartment. She's getting rid of everything, buying new furniture. She had this big, giant, gorgeous piece of furniture that she could not sell. She's like, you guys can have it. Just pay for the delivery. Pay for them to deliver it to your house. I'm like, oh my God, awesome. So because of that, I now have to get rid of all the furniture that I have. So I put my furniture on Facebook Marketplace because that's the best place. That's the best. Like, I've never had a bad experience there until today. The person who bought the furniture was fantastic. The problem was, so you only communicate through Facebook Marketplace. I'm not going to give a stranger my number. I'm just not going to do it. So I said to her, I'll be home all day. Let me know when you're coming. And Joe said, I have to go to work for an hour. Have her come before or after. So I was waiting to hear back from her. Instead of saying like, what time works for you? She's like, I'm on my way. So I called Joe, like, you have to get home immediately. She's on her way. Like, I know you're at work, but you have to leave work or help me. He's like, I can't leave work. I'll get there when I get there. I'm like, she's on her way. Don't you know what that means? So Joe couldn't make it back. So I had this big, giant, really heavy dresser. I was literally taking it down to her piece by piece. I was pulling out one drawer at a time. Until it was just a shell of itself. Then I went downstairs. I got a dolly. I brought it up. I called Joe again. I was saying to the girl's like collecting the pieces of the dresser, and she's like assembling it outside. You know what I mean? It's like pieces of the dresser sitting outside, and it starts to rain. So I'm like, shit. I said, who's helping you? Can you start putting this in the truck or whatever you're going to do? She's like, no, I'm calling an Uber. So she's calling an Uber XL to help her get this dresser back to her apartment. And I'm rushing my boyfriend who's biking in the rain to get here on time. And I borrow a dolly from downstairs from my super. He's like, listen, people keep stealing this dolly. I don't want to give it out. I'm like, I'm begging you. I just need it for like 20 minutes. I will give it back to you. Take a picture of me with the dolly so you remember it's me. I like proof of life. And I will bring it back. And you could see on the picture, only 20 minutes have passed. So Joe finally gets back here, and we bring the dolly, and we bring the piece of furniture downstairs to this poor girl who's standing out there in the rain with like the little just pieces of this poor dresser.
You cannot sell a piece of $20 furniture on Facebook Marketplace without drama.
Okay, it was $45 as far as
$45, and Joe
$45.
can't go to work for a flippin' hour out of his life without drama calling him every 5 minutes.
Here's the saddest thing. He made more money in that hour than my $45. So I had the priorities all wrong in this scenario.
You always have priorities wrong because you spent, I guarantee, 3 hours on this. So you have to put it on Facebook Marketplace. You got to deal with people. I love the fact that you're not going to give some woman your phone number, but you'll give her your address. I love that. So
wait, hang on. I didn't give her my address. I gave her my next door neighbor's address. So we had to go bring the furniture. Yeah, it was such a hassle because I couldn't just bring it out of my building. I had to pretend I lived somewhere else. I forgot I left that part out.
Okay, so that's the drama right there. You'll give her your almost address, but you will not give her your phone number, or she knows your Facebook account because she's on Facebook Marketplace. And then, so you spent 3 hours on this, which comes out to probably $10 an hour, which is more than your time is worth. So, and I swear the stress takes 3 years off of your life.
I made $45 today, so fuck you.
You made $45 that took you 4 hours and cost you 3 years of life.
It was worth it.
I will never get through to you what your time is worth.
It was worth it to have an empty apartment here.
Hey, I'm Will.
And I'm Kat. Oh, that was loud. Sorry.
If you love 1980s pop culture, you'll love 1980s Now. Each week we discuss our favorite 1980s media.
Like movies, TV shows, music.
Yeah, we chat with our favorite 1980s celebrities. Let's see, we got a lot of those.
And sometimes it's more meaningful, like Affirmations with Dee Wallace.
And other times, Alex Winter tells us what Bill and Ted's phone booth smells like.
Smelly.
But it's always fun.
And sometimes there's a surprise game, like right now, because once again, it's time to play.
When you think of garbage, think of Aki.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, darn. I thought you had something.
You don't have to miss the 1980s.
You can have your 1980s now.
Because that's the name of the show. You think people got that part? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, if you're just tuning in.
She is one of the dumbest girls you will ever meet. She made out with a hot dog.
Well, there must be something you're good at.
I could put my whole fist in my mouth. Want to see?
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
When we had John Cusack on the show, we thought it was weird that he said he really hasn't seen any of his movies.
Yeah, we did think that was weird. Mm-hmm.
Because we love some of his movies, and he hasn't even seen them.
Right. And also, we asked him, like, is he still in touch with some of the actors that he got close with? And he's like, I didn't get close with anybody. I don't talk to any of those people. I worked with them once. Like, whoa.
Yeah, like Better Off Dead. You've never seen Better Off Dead? No, I had no time for that. Dude, how can you not see that movie? We've seen it, between us, probably 300 times.
At least.
You've not even seen it once, and you're in it. So I got a list of people who are in TV shows and movies and have never seen these movies.
Wow. Oh, this could be interesting. Go ahead. Who you got?
Ellen Pompeo has never seen most of Grey's Anatomy.
I've never seen Grey's Anatomy either, so I'm with Ellen Pompeo.
I'm with her on that one. So
well, hang on a minute. Now, let me tell you why that's surprising. Because Ellen Pompeo did like one big episode of Law and Order. Like that was her big claim to fame. She was nobody. She did a Law and Order. And then suddenly she gets cast in the Shonda Rhimes, the big Shonda Rhimes show, Grey's Anatomy, that has been going for 18 seasons, and she's the star of it. Come on, bitch. You didn't watch yourself in the beginning.
A side note on all of these, I don't believe them at all. I think it's complete bullshit.
I don't think she watches it anymore, but I'm 100% sure she watched the first season.
Like Kit Harington has never seen season 8 of the Stupid Dragon Show.
Oh, well, that I understand.
No, bullshit. You've never seen a whole season that you were in on Game of Thrones.
If you told me he's never seen any of Game of Thrones, I would say I didn't believe you. But season 8, I mean, a lot of people didn't really care for season 8. I could see he was probably bored by then.
Daniel Day-Lewis said he's never seen Phantom Thread, which that makes 2 of us.
3 of us.
3 of us. Okay. Matthew Fox has never seen Lost.
No.
See, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that I don't believe. Come on. You didn't see at least one episode of Lost. You didn't just check it out to see, like,
how you looked.
Right. How you looked, or a scene that you were particularly concerned about to see how it turned out.
Yeah, 6 seasons of Lost. Didn't see a 1. He got the script.
That's sort of insulting. That's insulting to the writers. It's insulting to the viewers. It says that it's not good enough for you to watch. Please.
Yeah. So I wish I could go back and not see Lost.
Right. Me too.
That was 6 seasons of my life. I wish I could get back. And he's in it, and he didn't even see it. I listened to this stupid show.
Yeah, me too.
So it doesn't make any sense. Connie Britton has
my friend Connie. That's my friend.
I know. Has only seen a few episodes of American Horror Story.
She was only in like a couple of episodes. She probably saw the couple she was in.
Yeah, she said season 1, she was too scared to watch it.
That makes sense.
But she was in it.
Yeah, but you know what? She watched all of Nashville. She watched Friday Night Lights. She watched everything else she was in. It's okay.
Emma Stone has only seen half of Easy A.
You know, that I can understand. If you told me she never watches any of her movies, then I'd be like, I don't really believe that. Easy A, there might have been some triggers in there for her, and it might have been hard to watch. And also, in that one, I mean, she really puts it out there. It's hard to watch yourself on camera, on screen, when you're being like super emotional and you're tapping into something really deep. It might be too hard for her to watch.
And if you're not happy with the way you look, that's probably hard.
Or your performance. She could be one of those actresses that it's really hard in really hard in herself. You know what I mean? That the fact that she really went there. I'm telling you, like, it's almost like for actors that are in intense roles, it's almost like having a therapy session. You're glad that it's not on tape because you don't want to relive what you just went through in your therapy session.
Andrew Lincoln doesn't watch The Walking Dead at all.
Neither do we.
But we watched it for a while. But no, he doesn't watch it. He said, no, I don't have time for that.
Well, he probably watched the first season like we did.
Adam Driver has only seen the pilot of Girls.
Oh, well, I understand that. He might be in it, but he wasn't the audience for that. That show is unwatchable.
he wasn't the audience, so yeah, it's not his thing.
It's unwatchable. I'm with you, Adam Driver.
Jared Leto has never seen Dallas Buyers Club.
Again, that I can understand.
But he won an Oscar for it.
I know, but which is amazing that he didn't go back and watch it. But think about it. He lost all that weight for that role. He really went there in terms of his emotional life. It's hard to watch yourself be that other person if that's not who you are. I mean, you think about what you had to do to be like a heroin addict or to be. I think it's hard. I think it's hard for some actors to go back and see themselves in something that is just too intense.
Angelina Jolie hasn't seen Wanted, which she was in. She said, I heard it was fun. I feel like I did something right, but I just didn't see it.
Okay, so with Angelina Jolie, if she's not involved in the production, if she's not like one of the producers or a writer or directing it, I could see why she wouldn't be interested, but I get the impression with Wanted, she might have been a nightmare on that set. And it probably has very bad, this is what I've heard, I could be wrong. It probably has very bad connotations for her. Like, think about environments that you and I were in. Would you want to go back and listen to those stations? No.
Yeah, but I would go back and listen to the shows I was on.
Yeah. The show that you were on. But if it had like I don't know, I could understand that. If you did not get along with the people you worked with and it was like just bad vibes and bad juju all around, I could see not wanting to watch it.
But it's on HBO every 5 minutes. So to not see it, I don't believe that. James Vanderbeek never finished Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, but he watched it.
He was Dawson.
I know, but he never finished it, I understand. At least he watched it. Again, if he said he never watched it, then I'd be like, no, that's bullshit. But yeah, he never finished it. None of us did.
Nicole Kidman said she never saw Australia and Moulin Rouge. Lucky.
Well, Moulin Rouge was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I see why she didn't see that. I never heard of Australia. I mean, I heard of the country, but I never heard of...
Johnny Depp said he's never seen Edward Scissorhands.
That feels hard to believe.
I'm not sure I saw that film, to be honest with you.
I think he saw it when it first came out because Winona Ryder probably made him watch it. Remember, they were dating at the time. But he was probably so high that he forgot that he saw it. Or he didn't realize it was him in it.
And finally, Elizabeth Olsen says she hasn't seen Doctor Strange, which has been like the #1 movie ever. That's out right now. She says, no, didn't see it. Bullshit.
No, maybe she's not a Marvel girl. Maybe she's not into superhero movies.
She's not the demo.
She's not into it. Listen, just because you have a job and just because you work on something, it doesn't mean you want to go watch it. Listen, I'll tell you something. As I was looking at the cast of Gossip Girl, There's people in that you know they love to watch themselves. And then there's others that just, that storyline's not for them. You know that there's definitely people on Gossip Girl that don't watch Gossip Girl.
Yeah, but you and I, every TV appearance, we have it saved somewhere, and we watch it all the time.
But we're not actors. We're ourselves. I think that's the same thing with radio. You know, I listen to all of our shows and I watch myself whenever I'm on television because it's me. But if I was an actor, I might not because I might not want to see myself as that character. I might feel weird. I might feel uncomfortable. You know, and then also, I think a lot of actors that play a regular role over and over, they don't want to watch themselves play that role because it gets in their head. And then when they're actually playing the role, they probably are too self-conscious.
You would have been better off if you never saw that episode of CNN that you did where you were sweating under your armpits.
Oh, that was that was traumatizing. Yeah, I had PTSD from that because you made a song about it. Pit stains. Remember, I had those awful pit stains.
I forgot about that.
I didn't forget about it. Obviously, I didn't forget about it because I'm totally traumatized by it. That I went on, in case you know he's talking about. I used to work on Showbiz Tonight, and I was one of my first. I was new on the show. I was new at the station, and I was on there. And they tell you what to wear. They give you some suggestions. Sometimes they give you clothes, but so they were like, wear lighter colors. So I wore this peach sweater. Mm-hmm. And I was sweating my ass off because I was nervous being there. The lights are hot. It was a really intense segment about probably a celebrity divorce or something. And every time I raised my arms, you saw these giant pit stains.
Yeah.
It was just like sweat.
If you forgot what it sounded like when we first saw that on TV, this is what it sounded like.
Anderson Cooper came in, I started sweating. Aaron Neville came in, I started sweating. The place was a little warm. Maybe it wasn't. It felt warm. I didn't know. Next thing I knew, I had these big, huge sweat stains.
Oh, no, you don't.
Under my shirt. And they told me not to wear
What are you, a guy?
They told me not to wear a jacket because I wear a jacket every time I'm on there. And
So
they're
you had
like,
big, nasty pit stains?
like you would not believe.
Can you see it on TV?
Yes.
Oh.
As a matter of fact.
This is brilliant.
Huge pit stains. Huge.
You're never going on CNN ever again.
I'm never going back on that show again. So here's the worst part about the pit stain. So I'm thinking to myself, I go to the bathroom, I'm like trying to arrange my arms in a way that if I could sit like this, people won't see them. If I keep my arms down in this weird position, maybe. And I walked in, I sat down. I guess I was fixing my my mic, and the sound lady comes over. She goes, she whispers, "Excuse me, Cooper, don't pick up your arms. You have huge sweat stains."
Oh, God.
I was like, yeah, no. She goes, yeah, so be conscious of that, okay? Because we can really see them. I was like, oh, my God.
They said that to you.
Yeah, they said it to me.
Wow.
The sound lady.
Oh.
I can just all over, whoever's listening right now, they're all setting their TiVos for 11 o'clock. CNN headline news is the channel
I'm
it's on.
looking forward to this more than Christmas right
Yes.
now. I'm so not
Begging
missing
you.
this.
I'm begging you not to watch it.
Yeah, and don't make the
please.
mistake of TiVoing because it's on CNN headline news at 11.
Right.
Not CNN.
Right, Showbiz Tonight.
Right.
It's not regular
It's
CNN.
going to be on CooperLawrenceShow.com tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm going to beg Jonathan to put this up on the website really, really fast.
Yes, and we'll see if we can do a screen capture of her where you can see a giant pit stain and blow it up.
Yeah.
You don't have
make
to blow it up.
screensavers.
I'm telling you, don't have to blow it up. You'll see them.
It's going to be on that TV out there tomorrow. Just the pit stain.
The giant 60-inch screens that are all over the building.
The Jumbotron that we have now? Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Neil and see if we can get it on the van, too, while we're at it.
I think it's over because even the producer walked over, and usually she's like, great job. She walked over to Judy. She goes, great job, Judy. She goes, Cooper, thanks for coming. I was like, as if the rest of that sentence is,
but
and we'll never see you again. Yeah, never come back.
So you better start making calls to MSNBC and Fox News, see if they need somebody.
And don't use tonight's tape.
No, I can't use
one of your
tonight's tape.
earlier
Not with those
appearances.
pit stains.
Wow.
I mean, you're on the Today Show. You did fine. That's the Today Show.
But Anderson Cooper doesn't work for NBC.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? On the Today Show, the Scrubs came and interviewed me. It wasn't like it was Al Roker. If it was Al Roker or Katie or Matt, forget it. I would have been a babbling fool.
And you were outside with the weatherman or something, weren't you?
Right. I was outside with Campbell Brown.
Oh, yeah.
9 feet tall. I mean, if she was there, I didn't see her. She was so tall. I looked into her belly button the whole time. So how intimidating can that be? I talked to a sweater.
Yeah.
You know? That was a little easier. Plus, I was prepared.
You know
this
what, though?
was different.
This is karma from your Today Show appearance.
Yes,
if you'll remember on her Today Show appearance, there was another guest, and Cooper demolished her, made her look like a
and
moron.
the lady fell on her face.
Right, she tripped over wires and fell flat on her face in front of the whole Today Show audience.
So this is your payback from Dr. Judy.
This is my payback.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and Dr. Judy, she was, you should see, even Dr. Judy, who was wiping the floor with me, you could see she felt terrible because at one point I said one little thing and she was like trying to refer to me as if like, oh, poor thing.
Yeah. Like Cooper said.
Exactly.
It's Thursday. And then.
She's right, it is Thursday.
Yes.
I mean, it really was that kind of, it was awful. And AJ Hammer, the look on his face, he was looking at me like, are you on anything? Did you not take your meds today? So being exhausted, being exhausted and being intimidated don't mix for me.
These are the days I'm so glad I have a DVD burner.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm so burning a DVD and bringing this into work tomorrow.
It was a disaster like no other.
We'll run. Do those things have volume?
Yes.
We can just run it on a loop.
Yes, all day tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that my sweat doesn't have volume.
Oh, and those are in HD TV too.
Oh,
yeah.
See what pit stains look like in HD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping the makeup counteracts it. Hoping you look at it and go, pit stains, bad.
No, everybody that's going to watch it tonight is going to be fixated on your arms.
How could you won't be able to miss it. I'm warning you ahead of time because if you go watch the show, you won't be able to hear a word anyone says. You're going to be like, pit stains. Pit stains. Pit stains.
This is great.
You should make it into a drinking game. If you watch Headline News, if you watch Showbiz Tonight on Headline News Tonight, and you see every time I raise an arm, you see a pit stain, take a shot.
Oh, Chad, call Neil and see if we can stay on the air till 11:30 tonight, just so we can watch it on the TVs.
And humiliate me.
Yes, live on the
in
air.
real time.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and I was nice to come in and talk to you about this and tell you about. I never even got to the topic we actually discussed.
Oh, this was far better than any
Far
topic
better, right?
you could have come up with.
Avoid boring your audience.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
This is done only as a courtesy to your audience.
All right, let's play Who Has More Money?
Big Bank takes Little Bank.
Big Bank takes Little Bank. That's what we should call it, right? So I'm going to give you a bunch of celebrities, some who might be in the news right now, and compare them to, just other celebrities, basically. Sometimes in their wheelhouse, sometimes not.
Okay.
Just by comparison. And you tell me who you think has more money.
Okay.
Jason Momoa or Amber Heard. Now, the reason why these two, Jason Momoa, Aquaman, and Amber Heard, who's in Aquaman, who has more money?
Jason.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he is Aquaman, and she was basically cut out of Aquaman, too. He's worth $14 million, and she's worth $8 million, which is amazing.
14? So only 14 for him, and how did she get 8?
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know where her $8 million came from.
She stole it from Johnny.
I guess
Took
so.
a little out of his bank account every now and then.
Oh, speaking of Johnny Depp, who has more money, Will Smith or Johnny Depp?
Will Smith.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. He has a lot more money, actually. Will Smith is worth $350 million. Johnny Depp is worth only $100 million.
Oh, poor Johnny.
But it's interesting because if you think about so Will Smith has, I know he produces a lot of stuff, so that definitely helps. Will Smith has more franchises than Johnny Depp, if you think about it. Johnny Depp Men in Black.
He's got Bad Boys. Johnny Depp really has just Pirates.
Well, no, and the Fancy Beasts. What's that called? Fabulous Beasts. What's the one that he just got fired from?
Yeah, so he's got two, kind of. Will's got a bunch.
He probably still has some Fresh Prince money because remember they're rerunning that like crazy. So he's making bank off of just reruns of that.
Okay, in 5 years from now, what's that going to be? 2027. So in 2027, who's going to have more money?
Oh, Will Smith, because Johnny Depp's career is already over.
I think Will's is over, and I think Johnny's is on the uptick.
No, it's not on the uptick. He just got fired again from something else. Johnny Depp is never working again. Will Smith is never working again. They should hang on to their 350 and 100 million. Yeah, and buy Bitcoin, right. Okay, who has more money, Chris Rock or Charles Barkley?
Oh, Chris Rock.
Why would you say Chris Rock?
Chris Rock's got all that Adam Sandler runoff money from the Netflix shows, and he's been in a bunch of movie grown-ups. He's got grown-ups money.
Right. Chris Rock actually has a lot of his money from his own stand-up specials from Netflix and HBO too, but Netflix. So Charles Barkley, famous basketball star. He played basketball ball, as you know. He's a commentator for sports. That is a big paycheck. And he endorses a lot of things. So I was like, Barkley must be worth a fucking fortune.
No, Barkley was in basketball when basketball really didn't pay.
Was there a time that basketball didn't pay?
Yeah, it was that time that Barkley was in.
Oh, okay.
It was right there at that cusp. So I don't think he gets mad money being a commentator because he's really not that good at it. I think he gets all of his money from endorsements.
So Chris Rock is worth $60 million, Charles Barkley, $50 million.
Wow, I'm surprised he's got that much.
Well, like I told you, because basketball ball and endorsements and everything else he does. So
basketball ball money.
Okay, Rachel Maddow versus Sean Hannity. If you realize they're both
Hannity.
They're both talkers. Sean Hannity's a conservative talker. Rachel. Yeah, and he's been at it a very long time. Rachel Maddow has been compared to Sean Hannity, she's been at it a very short time. She does well, but it's MSNBC. They don't have the ratings that Fox has. So yeah, Hannity makes way more money. So Rachel Maddow is worth $35 million, which is still pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good for MSNBC and her books and all that stuff. Hannity, $300 million.
Yeah, he's on like 200 stations.
Yeah, so he's syndicated.
Every single day he's on radio, so he's making...
Right.
He's really the only person left in syndication with those types of numbers.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, he really is. Okay, so if you watch Weekend Update on SNL, you know Michael Che and Colin Jost. Who is worth more money, Michael Che or Colin Jost?
Colin, because he does movies and got a rich wife.
The only reason why Colin Jost makes more is because he's been writing for SNL longer. And as a writer, he makes a lot more money. Michael Che, though, I thought that he was going to be worth more because he has the Netflix specials now, and Netflix pays crazy amounts of money. Michael Che is worth $5 million. Colin Jost, double that, $10 million.
Yeah, because Colin's been in a couple of movies, and I don't think they make that much on SNL for their segment. I think they make more writing.
Yeah. I think Michael Che's money is mostly from Netflix, too. Yeah. Okay, let's stick with SNL for a second. Kenan Thompson versus Kate McKinnon. Who's worth more?
Kenan has to be, because he's on everything and nothing all at the same time. He's always been on Saturday Night Live for as long as I can remember. So,
well, no, but he had Kenan and Kel money before that.
He had that money. He had Good Burger money. He's had a lot of success. So,
correct.
And she's just got SNL, a couple of movies, and Verizon money.
Well, not a couple. Well, the Verizon money is a lot.
Yeah.
And the couple of movies, one of them was Ghostbusters, if you remember. So he is worth $13 million to her $9 million.
Pretty close. But hey, he's been on TV a long time.
I mean, since he's a kid, he's for every time somebody brings up like how child stars are ruined and that kind of thing, and then being a star as a child is bad. I always bring up Kenan Thompson because he's been acting. He's been at it since he's a child. I mean, since he's young. So he's a good example of how it doesn't always ruin you.
But he's the go-to guy on Saturday Night Live. Whenever they need somebody really good, they go to him.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And when he was single, I don't know when that was because I don't really know his relationship status, but when he was single, apparently he was dating a woman in my building because the doormen would be like, oh, guess who just paid a booty call? They would flip out every time he came over. They'd be like, Kenan Thompson's here. Yeah. All right. So MGK, Machine Gun Kelly versus his wife, Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
You think she has more money?
She's got more money. She's got Transformer money.
Remember, he writes his own stuff. He produces.
I don't think the money's in music anymore. So I'm going her hands down.
You are wrong. He's worth $25 million. She's worth $8 million.
Really?
Yeah, because remember, she wasn't, while she was the female star, when women don't make as much as men do. Remember, the whole pay gap thing is really bad in Hollywood.
She's had Jennifer Body money. Thought she had more than that.
Only $8 million, and what's scary is Megan Fox is worth the same as Amber Heard.
Megan Fox could make just a boatload of money being on an OnlyFans and people watching her sleep. That's what she needs to do.
Well, I think she's wasting it because right now she's doing the OnlyFans thing for free. Every time we see her, she's barely dressed. It's like, that was free. I don't have to pay for that. You know what I mean? Go charge people, honey. Well, make your money.
That hot chick that's on Twitch.
With the crazy name.
Aretha or whatever her name is. You know how much she makes from people watching her sleep?
Oh, the sleeping one? I thought you meant the one that
she sleeps and she goes in a hot tub. And
the hot tub one, yeah.
She does hot tub. She rides horses. She sleeps. She's hot as hell. But how much is she making off that shit?
I don't know how much. It's got to be, it's definitely in the millions.
A month. $1 million a month she's bringing down.
Holy crap.
Just for people watching her sleep.
No, well, I'm telling you, she's a hot chick. I'll never know what that life is like.
That stupid hot chick for $1 million a month.
All right, let's get back to my game. Let's go to music now. Ed Sheeran versus Adam Levine.
Ed.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran, but it's not that far apart. Ed Sheeran, $200 million. Adam Levine, $160 million.
Yeah, I thought it'd be close because he's got TV money too. But Ed, he's got stupid money.
TV money? What do you mean?
I mean, he had voice money, but Ed doesn't have to share all of his money with the other people.
Adam Levine on The Voice. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Ed doesn't have to share his money with the other guys from Maroon 5. It's just him.
True. Yeah. All right, let's go old school music. Vanilla Ice versus MC Hammer.
Hammer.
No, Vanilla Ice.
No. Ice had one song.
I don't know if you know, but he's a television star now. He's a television host.
Yeah, that's reaching saying star.
Well, he's worth $12 million.
Wow.
$12 million versus MC Hammer's $2 million.
How did he make any money off? Because he had to give all that money to Queen.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I watch all of his TV show. It's not that good. So I think they're lying there. I think Hammer's can't touch it. Well, then he had to pay Rick James for that too. So
right. Oh, this is weird. Do you know who David Copperfield is?
Yeah.
He's a magician.
Right.
And most of his magic stuff, I think he has a residency in Vegas he's had for 100 years, whatever. Okay, so David Copperfield versus Jay-Z.
Ooh. That's probably closer than you think.
It is.
I'm going to go Copperfield because he's been around longer and he sells out everything he does.
Jay-Z is worth more, but not much more. I mean, a lot more when you consider, but in terms of numbers. David Copperfield. Now so if you follow Jay-Z's career and you know his music like I do, you know that he has this song on 444 where he says, what's better than one billionaire, two?
Yeah,
and he means like he and Beyonce.
Billion, but Copperfield's got to be real close to that.
Copperfield has $1 billion.
Wow.
Jay-Z has $1.3 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, so he beats him by $300 million.
$1 billion off that shit.
I know. It's crazy, right?
Vegas.
Now this number, I don't know. This is weird because I have a friend who works with Kanye who says that Kanye's numbers are kind of not really his numbers because what he claims to be worth is not really what he's worth.
Yeah, it's like he thinks he's 150 million.
Well, no, he says he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's not a billionaire.
Yeah, so this is skewed because they put him up against Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael, please. Michael made all of his money from the Hornets.
Well, the difference, and he has the Jordan shoes and that kind of thing. But Michael Jordan truly is a billionaire. He's worth $2.2 billion, and most of that is sneaker money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the sneakers he has with Nike and stuff.
Yeah, when he actually bought an NBA team in Charlotte, and that's where he says he got most of his money because he bought them for like $3 million or whatever, and they're worth $1 billion now.
Yeah, so Michael Jordan is worth $2.2 billion. That's the truth. Kanye West claims to be worth $2 billion, so less than Michael Jordan. But like I said, Kanye borrowed so much money from his label, and all of his clothing line, except like every clothing line he had, cost him a lot of money. And he lost a lot. He lost a ton of money on them. The Yeezys did well. His sneakers did well, but he's still been in the hole. Mm-hmm. So he was in debt for $53 million. So I don't know how he's worth $2 billion, but okay, that's what he claims. Mike Tyson versus Lenny Kravitz. I don't know why these two are being paired up against each other, but okay.
That should be pretty close. I'm going to give that to Lenny.
You're right. Lenny is worth $80 million.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson's only worth $10 million.
Yeah, he lost a lot of money. He had tiger money.
Yeah.
He owned tigers. So
yeah,
but
right.
He's got pop money now. That's where he's getting a lot of his money's Tyson Farms.
Yeah.
But Lenny's got hits.
Yeah, I don't know why they're pairing those two. There must be a connection between Mike Tyson and Lenny Kravitz that I don't realize. There must be something there, but because that's the whole idea of this list is that these people they're being compared for a reason. So, okay, here's one. These are secondary characters in music bands. Okay, so The Edge, who's from U2, he's not the front man, but we know who he is. He's The Edge. He's important to U2. And Angus Young, who's important to AC/DC, but he's not the main guy, right?
Yes, he is. So I'm going Angus. Angus by far.
Nope.
The Edge has more money?
The Edge is worth $400 million.
Wow.
And Angus is worth $160 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Of the two, like kind of young, hot, fully tattooed guys who are out there right now, which would be Pete Davidson versus Post Malone.
Post.
Yeah. Post is worth way more. He's worth $45 million. Pete Davidson is worth the same thing as Amber Heard, $8 million.
Mm-hmm. Well, he lives with his mom. Post doesn't live with his mom.
No, Post lives in 19 million houses. He's got houses and apartments everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
You did well. I'm impressed. You don't have any money, but you understand it.
Yeah, I look up to people who have money.
You want it? Yes, you got it.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I'm going to introduce you to 3 people.
Okay.
All 3 of them say they're from New York.
Okay.
But only one is.
Oh, I love this. Okay.
So you got to tell me which one is from New York and the other 2 are BSing.
Okay, got it.
There's a guy asking the question. So he's going to ask these people questions. You got to tell me what you think.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Zeus.
How long have you been in LA?
About 3 years.
What's your favorite thing about New York?
Bodegas. Go ahead and get a little chopped cheese or something like that. The bodegas, like they don't really have them out here in New York. I mean, in LA like that. So I kind of miss that.
What do you like to do?
It's like spending a lot of time with my daughter. I edit a lot, watch a lot of movies, like kung fu movies and things like that.
What's the typical snack at a baseball game?
Let's go get a hot dog.
Okay, so what do you think about him?
Possibly.
Next girl.
Favorite thing to do?
I like to meditate. I do yoga. I like to do breath work. I like to go to shows a lot.
Mm-hmm. What do you miss most being in LA from New York?
The people, probably. It's very different on the West Coast.
Talk about pizza.
I'm a vegan.
Do you not have vegan pizza with cauliflower crust and cashew cheese?
Pizza at all.
So what do you like to eat then?
A lot of fruits and vegetables.
No, definitely not her.
What I eat a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of tacos.
No, we have vegan pizza here like crazy. She didn't fucking know this thing about New York.
At the moment, there are no distinguishing features that immediately place it in that city, but again, she's talking very naturally. It doesn't seem like she's necessarily putting on an accent for this.
All right, so that's one girl. Here comes the next one.
Okay.
After a timer.
He's going to ask her to say certain words, and you'll see.
Okay.
I've done the name.
What do you like about it so much?
It's a simple plot, but it's also like very compelling.
And do you take the subway when you're in New York?
Yes.
Or do you take cabs?
Definitely the subway, even though it's nasty.
If you are doing some dishes, what's the thing that you wipe everything with?
A cloth.
What do you walk in the streets if it's not a cat on a leash? It might be
A dog.
If something goes kapow after like a timer, it might be a
bomb.
Tell me the 4 kind of relatives you would generally have in like a family if there were 2 parents or 2 children.
Ma, dad, sister, and brother.
And what are the sister and brother in relation to the parents?
Son and daughter.
Okay, great.
No, not her.
It would be son.
She sounds like she's from Boston, actually.
She would be son and daughter.
I can and see if they're really from where they say they are. I have 30 seconds with each person. Let's go in reverse order.
Okay, so
Definitely not her.
So they're going to bring the number 3 girl up first.
If you are going into court, you need this person with you.
A lawyer.
If you, up in the morning, you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you have your donut and you have...
Coffee.
And is it cold, usually?
It's hot.
Those 2 words together.
Hot coffee.
I think that's it.
You say no.
Definitely not her. Mm-mm.
Okay, here comes the number 2 girl now, and he's asking her what are
the 5 boroughs?
Okay, what are they?
They are Staten Island, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan.
Boroughs.
I feel like I'm on Family Feud. The 5 boroughs. Okay. Staten Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx.
Out of all of those, where are J-Lo and Cardi B from?
The Bronx.
Bronx.
If you're in Manhattan and there's no fruits or vegetables like in their raw form, what would you eat?
Hummus.
I don't know. She knew the 5 boroughs.
Yeah, I don't know them, and I lived there.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like, if you don't know, and she said them in the same order I did. And the way she said Manhattan, she went Manhattan.
And I thought that Cardi B was from Brooklyn.
No, she's from the Bronx.
Yeah, see? That's where I got... So now
and Nicki Minaj is from Queens. No, but okay, now this guy, see the way this guy said daughter, like from the very beginning, I was like, this is the guy. So but then again, I've heard guys talk like that who are not from New York. So let me hear him again.
About hot beverages earlier. Can you tell me the 3 main kind of genres?
Hot chocolate, tea, and coffee.
Excellent. One of the things you have to understand with accents is that what are they being used for? Are they being used in real life?
I mean, this girl is very compelling, the one who knew all 5 boroughs. And the way she said them, so...
Your accent.
I can usually tone it down, but I tried not to tone it down too much, but I also went around a lot of your words.
Here I am, a dialect coach, and I was...
It was the second girl.
It was I just said the girl.
Yeah, it was the second girl.
The vegan girl.
The vegan girl, because at first you said no, but when she brought the boroughs...
No. Yeah, when she said the boroughs and she said them in the same order I did, then I was like, it's her. But let me just say one thing. The guy did a really good job because I thought the guy could also possibly be from, not New York City, but Brooklyn for sure. He sounded like a Brooklyn guy. The fact that she knew the boroughs so quickly and she said them the same order and the way that I said them, even Manhattan, like the way she said Manhattan. And she started with Staten Island, which is hilarious. But the thing is...
teach you that way in school? Is that...
No, because... When you think of the map, you start at Staten Island, you work your way around clockwise. That's what she was doing. She was going clockwise. Yeah, which is what I do when I think about the boroughs. The only reason why, when she was like, there's no vegan pizza, there's tons of vegan pizza in New York. So that's the only thing that I was like, wait, a New Yorker would know. There's plenty of vegan restaurants here now.
But she could have moved away, let's
in the past 10 years, not old enough. There's been vegan pizza here a long time.
Very good. I thought I'd get you on that one.
No, I was sure it was the guy until she said the boroughs.
The power to attract and repel.
It's more excitement than decent people need.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Are you watching anything interesting right now?
I like Kids in the Hall because I forgot how much I liked it in the 90s when it was on.
Right.
And they brought some skits back I totally forgot about. Like, I'm squishing your head. Like, I got your head between my fingers and I'm squishing.
I remember that guy. Yeah.
So they bring that back, and it's good to see these guys. I love how they started out because the guy goes and digs them up and they're in a grave. And Dave, what's his name? Dave
Foley.
Dave Foley is like, am I still the cute one? They're like, no, not really.
Yeah, no, you're 60 now. No one's cute at 60.
But it's really well written. It's really good.
And Lorne Michaels is producing it. He produced the first series. Now he's producing this one. So and these are better. I think these are a lot better skits than SNL. I haven't seen the new season because to get ready for it, Prime had the old season. So we're like, oh, let's watch this. I fell asleep every single time. My boyfriend put it on, and within like seconds, I'd be out. It was like Ambien for me.
Skip them and go to the new one.
Okay. Well, I'm watching what right now is the number one show on Netflix, which I can't believe it's number one. I can't believe people wanted to watch this, but Lincoln Lawyer. So here's the thing about Lincoln Lawyer. This is right up my alley because, as you know, I'm a huge Michael Connelly fan. You know, like how Michael Connelly puts out a book like once a year and his fans are waiting for that next book. That's me. I'm that fan. I'm that girl. I have read every single Michael Connelly book, sometimes twice. I've seen the whole Bosch series. I've seen every movie that's come out that has to do with any of his books. Bloodwork, you know, the one with Clint Eastwood. Like, trust me, if Michael Connelly is attached, I'm your girl. In fact, if they had a trivia contest that was just Michael Connelly stuff, nobody could beat me. Like, I know every character. I know every book. I'm the girl. So I loved Lincoln Lawyer. I loved the book. And I loved the movie. I thought Matthew McConaughey did a really good job because the character has to be handsome enough that you believe women throw themselves at him, but flawed enough that you believe once they get to know him, they don't want him anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's Michael Connelly does a really good job creating these characters. I think it's hard to cast people who are good enough in these roles. So what's really interesting about the television version, it's not based on the movie, it's based on the book. So if you think about a book is very long. You can't make a movie. You can make it out of a book, but you're leaving out a lot of stuff. Because the book, if you listen to the book, it's like the audiobook is almost 6 hours long. You can't make a 6-hour movie, but you can make a television series.
That movie felt like a 6-hour movie. I mean, when I saw that series on, I was like, oh God, it just brings back, but it triggers me because that movie was so long and so boring to me.
I didn't think so. I thought it was a pretty good movie. If for its time, I don't know that it holds up after all these years. There's no CGI or anything. But here's what's interesting. It's created and produced by David E. Kelley, who, if you don't know who that is, in the 90s, David E. Kelley was the Shonda Rhimes of his day. He had Ally McBeal, Boston Legal, The Practice. I mean, that guy was cranking out television and creating stars left and right. Like, there's people now that you've heard of because they became famous by being in some David E. Kelley thing. And the thing that he did really well very early on, before it was an edict in Hollywood, was diversity. Every single one of his shows, there was somebody who was either deaf, in a wheelchair, something like, somebody who had some sort of disability. There were African Americans not playing criminals and cops, but playing lawyers and judges. So now it's a big thing to make sure, and Asians, and like he made sure he was very inclusive all the time. He supported the anorexic, as you know. He had Calista Flockhart as Ally McBeal all those years. I was thinking about her today because I was watching Lincoln Lawyer and thinking about David E. Kelley, I think it's interesting that she was really famous. She was Ally McBeal. She was huge in the 90s. Then she met and married Harrison Ford, and she quit.
Yeah, she's got Han Solo money.
But I think it's interesting that, that she just quit her career. That was it. She's done. And most people don't know who she is now. Like if I said Calista Flockhart to anybody, unless they do a deep dive into Star Wars and they know everything about Harrison Ford, they probably have no idea who she is or that she was ever a TV star on her own.
No.
you know? And she was criticized all the time for being too skinny. Like, she went through a lot, you know? She went through a lot back then. But I think it's interesting that she landed Harrison Ford and was like, that's it, I'm done. I win. I win. I got Han Solo. But anyway, so Lincoln Lawyer, I think, is really, really good because it's a little soap opera-y in terms of the characters are all really good looking. And in the movie and the book, the characters are not. They're kind of gritty and they're supposed to be real people. So it's a little too soap opera-y where everybody's really handsome and really beautiful. Okay, I'm okay with that. But the story they tell, they do a really good job of telling the story in the book and getting into the nitty-gritty that the movie had to ignore. So they really developed the character. Yeah, they had the movie had to cut it all out. The television series has it all in. So it makes it a lot more interesting, and it explains, because there's things that it's like leaps you had to make in the movie that's like, oh, what, this guy's all of a sudden he just freed him from jail for what? Like, he's just out? Whereas in the TV series, you see why he was in jail, how we got him out, how that evidence relates to the main storyline. Like, they do a really good job of tying it together. Like, David E. Kelley is an amazing storyteller. So I see why it's the number one thing on Netflix right now, you know? The only star, you wouldn't know one person in it, by the way. The only star in it, there's 2 stars in it. Neve Campbell plays Maggie McPherson, but she's awesome, so they call her Maggie McPherce. She's one of the leads. And then they introduce Legal Seagull finally, like 5 or 6 episodes in, and that's Elliot Gould. But other than that, nobody famous.
I just love how we went from movies being so good and TV sucking to now movies suck and TV is the only thing that has anything good. It's like like the TV show The Offer that's on Paramount Plus. I think is one of the best things since The Sopranos.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a really good movie, like a movie that I was like, wow, that was amazing. I have not seen a movie that I feel that way about in a long time.
Another good thing on Netflix right now is the Cat Williams special.
You know how I love Cat Williams.
He nails it in this one. The last 10 minutes you can throw away. It's really sexual, but how he does politics, it's flipping great.